Overtiredness is famous. Everyone knows about it. Everyone wants to avoid it with their baby and toddler. So much so that some of us then venture into the territory of undertiredness, overtiredness's far less famous cousin.
Devastatingly, we somehow still end up with a baby who is impossible to settle, or will only sleep in short stints.
So, what are these two sleep nemesises, and how do we avoid both of them simultaneously? Hi, I'm Nicky.
And I'm Amanda, and we're the founders of Little Ones. In this video, we're going to look at over and under tiredness. Babies have very sensitive circadian rhythm. The younger the baby, the less awake time they can handle before the system goes into overload and they need to have sleep, so their overactive brain has a chance to process and catch up.
This is how they grow and learn. It's incredible and terrifying how much difference even 5 minutes can make. The younger the baby, the more sensitive they are to being awake for too long between naps, and this results in overtiredness. But don't get me wrong, older babies and toddlers can still certainly suffer from overtiredness too.
Some babies will give you very clear signs and you'll have heaps of time to get them prepared for bed so they're asleep at the right time. Some babies, like both of mine, won't really show any tired signs until it's too late. Some babies will show tired signs quite early on, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're actually ready for bed.
If a baby or toddler is overtired, this is what it looks like. Crying when you know they aren't hungry and difficult to calm down. Resisting settling. Older babies will seem hyperactive or like they have a second wind. Tantrums in toddlers. Waking 45 minutes after bedtime at night, waking a lot in the night, and waking early morning.
What is actually happening in your child's body is a hormone has built up called cortisol. An overload of this is similar to an adrenaline shot and is like caffeine in your little one's system. This is why older babies and toddlers suddenly seem so wide awake. It's like they've just had a shot of coffee right before bedtime.
Cortisol inhibits the production and release of another hormone, melatonin, which is the one we actually need in order to settle well and stay asleep. The more overtired your baby is, the less likely they are to then settle easily. If they're overtired at bedtime in the evening, they're starting off the night on the back foot, and you're pretty much guaranteed a bad night of restless sleep and maybe an early wake the next morning.
So, you think, I definitely thought, I'll do everything to avoid this horrifying situation. And you whisk your baby off to bed an hour or so after they woke after their last nap, and then you'll spend 45 minutes trying to get your baby to go to sleep, while all they want to do is smile at you.
This, everyone, is undertiredness. And it can look very much like its doppelganger overtiredness. In our haste to ensure our babies don't get overtired and therefore impossible to settle, we end up trying to put them to bed too soon, and they aren't quite ready to settle to sleep yet. Two personality types will appear here, the alert baby and the sleepy baby.
The alert baby will simply stare at you with wide open eyes the whole time you are trying to get them to sleep, or be crying and fighting every step of the way. You'll be rocking, feeding, bouncing, singing. By this stage you also might be crying. Feeding again, rocking some more. You'll assume your baby's overtired because why else wouldn't they be going to sleep? Eventually your wee one will doze off, but then in a few hours' time you'll have to do it all again for their next nap.
The thing is, this baby wasn't tired enough to go to sleep in the first place and was simply resisting all settling attempts as a result. By the time you'd gotten them to sleep, it would have been almost 2 hours since they woke from their last nap, and if you'd tried to put them down at that point, they would have settled much easier and in record timing.
The sleepy baby will go to sleep if you do anything to actively settle them. Easily. They'll probably fall asleep while you're feeding or while you're winding them, except then they'll wake 20, 30, 45 minutes later and you will have just made a sandwich or a cup of tea. This baby was easy to settle because rocking is nice and calming, and it was within the sleep window. But the baby wasn't tired enough to have a longer sleep because they have had too little awake time and they simply weren't tired enough. Across the space of the day, an undertired baby will end up either catnapping in short bursts, leading to overtiredness come the bedtime, or nap well and then be extremely difficult to get to bed at night.
An undertired baby generally looks like this. crying even though you know they aren't hungry, resisting settling. Older babies will really protest at nap and bedtime. Toddlers will play or get out of bed constantly or be naughty. Napping for short periods or catnapping, waking a lot at night, waking in the night and wanting to stay awake for hours on end, waking early morning. Suspiciously similar behaviour to overtiredness.
Which is why it can be so tricky to get the balance right.
Both over and under tiredness can lead to poor napping and or poor nighttime sleep. This can mean a grumpy baby and frustrated parents.
We've taken a long time formulating our sleep programs to harness the perfect awake times for babies at each age, allowing them to settle well and sleep better day and night.